Step 4 of the gradebook setup is making sure that all the assignments you have in the gradebook are linked and that all of the assignments you want in the gradebook are in here. You can tell if an assignment is linked because this association column, it will say discussions, quizzes, or assignments. In this case, all of these quizzes are linked except quiz 5. That means somewhere quiz 5 is disconnected from this column. So if students take quiz 1, we know it's linked, the grades will automatically show up in the gradebook. In this case, if students take quiz 5, those grades are not showing up in the gradebook because that quiz is not set up to be linked to this column. So anything with a dash means it's not linked properly. If it's a column that you add in for attendance or something you manually enter, then it won't be linked to anything. It's just something that you're going to manually put grades in for. In that case, it's all right to have a dash. But if this is something which you can tell by the rest of the quizzes that should be linked and it's not, all you have to do is find that assignment wherever it is. So quiz 5 would be in course tools, quizzes, and quiz 5. And we could tell that is not in the gradebook because anything in the gradebook has a ribbon next to it. This does not have a ribbon, so we have to put it in the gradebook. We will click the drop down arrow and we will click edit. Anything with the gradebook is going to be under this assessment tab. And you'll see right here, grade item is none. We want to select that quiz 5 column to link this quiz 5 to that column. I would always select these top or the top and the bottom boxes. This means that as soon as a student submits their test, they'll be able to see at least the score they got on it. You could set those up under submission views to what they'll actually be able to see from the test, whether you want to see just the score they got or if they want to see the correct answers for things they got wrong. You could also set it up so they just see the score, and then after the due date, they can see all the answers, but that would be a different video. But for now, I would select this. And then this bottom box, synchronized to gradebook, means when they take the quiz, it will populate in the gradebook. I would just always select both of these. It makes it much easier. But the main thing is we want to connect this gradebook column. So we hit save and close. Notice quiz 6 is hanging out here with nothing. We'll get back to that in a second. But so now we want to go back to the grade center and manage grades. And now you'll notice quiz 5 is linked. It has the quizzes title under the association column, so that's good. Another one we have is the compare and contrast essay. This one is an assignment, so we are going to go under the course tools and assignments. And here's the compare and contrast paper. We can see that this is not linked because it does not have a ribbon. This one, you also click the drop down and edit assignment, but it's a little different than this. This is not in gradebook right here. Click on it, and then you have to click the one that says edit or link to existing because it's already in the gradebook. Here we go. And it'll let you either create a new one, which we don't need because there's already one there that we saw. So we're going to click link to an existing column. There it is, the compare and contrast essay. This drop-down menu will have all of the columns that are linked. In this case, that was the only other one, so we only have one option, but that's the correct one. And hit OK. Now it's in the gradebook, so we can hit save and close. And we just linked it successfully to that grade column. So we're back under manage grades. We're back on this page. If we scroll down, now it's linked. So you'll notice everything is linked. There's nothing unlinked, but there might be some things in here, for example, quiz 6 that are supposed to be in here that are not. So if you come into that problem, just go to the assignment or quiz or discussion that should be in the gradebook, find it under course tools. In this case, we'll go to quizzes and quiz 6. Now it's going to be like the same process as linking to the gradebook, except we need to make a column for it. So we click the down arrow, edit, again under assessment. In this case, it says grade item none. And when we click the drop down, there's nothing to choose because there's no extra columns in our gradebook that are unused. Before we had that gradebook column for quiz 5 that we were able to pick because it wasn't linked to anything. But now, as we just saw, everything is linked. So there's not an extra column to use. So we can't select one. We have to add a grade item. So we're going to add it manually. So we add it, and we're going to call this one 6. How many points is quiz 6 worth? Let's say it's worth 50 points. We'll hit save. And again, you want to check both these boxes. So we're going to check the bottom box. Now it's linked to quiz 6. That will create the column in the gradebook. Now you'll see quiz 6 is linked because it has the ribbon. So student information, grades. And you'll notice it's not here because it just added it to the bottom. So now like we did before, you just want to edit this to put it in the right category, which we could have done when we first set up and created the quiz 6 column. But if you forget to do that, just edit it and change the category here to quizzes. And now the quiz is in there. So anything that should be in there, that's how you can put it in. Make sure it's all linked. In this case, I know I believe it was under assignments. Yep, so there's some extra ones here. Those, let's say, are old things that you don't want in there anymore. You don't want for the grade book. The first option is to hide them. As long as they're not in the grade book, which they weren't, it's okay to hide these and students won't see them. You could also just click them and hit more actions and delete them out of this section if they're things that you're no longer going to use, and then they're just gone. So now in the grades, we have so far all of the extra columns and everything we don't want deleted. We have the correct categories. We have everything in the categories, and we make sure that everything we want to be in the gradebook is in there and linked.